All right, so I realized that you see me in my basement here, and you're probably like, dude, oh my gosh, this guy's such a nerd. He lives in his parents' basement and makes pool noodle lightsabers. But this is actually my house, and I have a wonderful, beautiful wife, and I have four wonderful children, three girls and a boy, and they love to play with these things. So here's just a couple samples that I've made. Pool noodle lightsabers, super easy. And I'm just going to show you how to make one because this one's my favorite. I think it did the best detail work. Not great, but the kids love them. They're not too caught up in the details, but really this idea came about from my neighbor across the street who was like, pool noodles make the best lightsabers. And he brought a bunch out, and the next thing you know, the neighborhood's having a battle. And I was like, you can put handles on these pretty simply and make them kind of look like lightsabers. So started doing that. Made these for my kids, except the pink one. Pink one's for my wife, her request. And then I made a couple more and figured I'd just show you guys how, because it's super cheap and super easy. So here what I have is the Darth Vader lightsaber. Figured I'd start with that one because that handle's a little more iconic and visible, so you know what you're looking at. Whereas some of them, they're not going to be perfect, but this is one that's a little bit easier to do, that you can make look like what you want. Otherwise, you can always custom make them as well. So what I usually do, since I've already made them, is just use the handle on a previous one to kind of figure out where my starting point is to make the height or the length of the handle. But about 12, maybe 14, 16 inches, something around there. I like to, with little kids, they might use two hands, so making it a little bit longer can help them a little bit with that. So I just line it up right there, and then I make a quick wrap around. You try to keep it as level as possible, just to so it lines up properly. And then duct tape rips pretty smoothly and pretty easily. Then I don't need that anymore. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to crisscross over the back end of it. And the best thing about this is, so all of these everything here that I'm using is from the Dollar Tree material-wise. So the pool noodles from the Dollar Tree, the tapes from the Dollar Tree. It's not like you need high-quality duct tape to make this. You just need to be able to get maybe a couple different colors. So, and then once you get the tape, you just got to buy a new pool noodle if you want to make more, and you're out $1.25, I guess now. But actually, you go to Walmart, you can get them for like 97 cents. You don't want to get the big giant ones; those will be a little bit too big. So, stick with some of these smaller ones. And then once I get this little wrap here, this is just the kind of the trickier beginning area. Right there, and then just fold this over. Then once you get that done, you can just kind of put your tape on at an angle, just a little bit of an angle, and you'll just wrap it around and keep going until you get that whole section covered. And if you get a little bit too, like you see I got the red here, you just back it up a little bit. Again, if you don't even be a perfectionist about it, and if you really mess it up like I am, just tear it off and start over. Like maybe your kids would be way more picky than mine, but a couple of mistakes here and there, no big deal. So this one I'm actually making for, as I mentioned, I have 4 kids, but my wife actually babysits a little girl a couple days a week, and she requested one when she saw my kids playing with them, so I told her I would make one for the next time she comes over. And then she was over today, and I didn't realize she was coming, and I didn't have it made, so I got held accountable for that, so now I gotta make it. So alright, so that's your base. Now if you have a handle design that's gonna be more black than gray, you could start with the black tape and just go that way, and then use the gray for your detail. Or you can get something colored and, like I said, go custom with it. This is red. I think it works better for the Switch, but they have them at the Dollar Tree in purple and silver, I believe, as well. So the other piece you're going to want is electrical tape. Now this is just generic again. You can go to the dollar store and you get 2 of these for $1 25, which is lame. But anyways, one thing with Darth Vader's lightsaber is it has a little bit of a rounded area where electrical tape comes in really nice because it's a little bit shapeable. So basically what I do is I tape a little bit of an oval, and then when I get here, I kind of just straighten that out for the top portion. And again, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to create this little angle piece here on the front of that lightsaber. And then I'll just do a couple of wraps to straighten it out and make it even on the bottom. And then depending on how much tape, if you want to, be cautious with your tape, you can cut it at this point. But I just basically come through and then seal up this red opening right there. But again, you can still kind of follow the bend there and get that shape out of it that you want. All right, now I am a safety representative, so I am going to make sure as you're doing this, if you're going to use a utility knife or any type of cutting device, that you should wear some safety gloves. And you just bring that down there. And if you don't work with electrical tape very often, it doesn't tear as well as the duct tape does. It tends to stretch because it's rubber. So hold on a sec here. You guys are out of luck. I'm not going to be editing this video, so all these little mistake stuff you're just going to have to deal with. I have a little red exposed right here. I'm just going to cover that up real quick. All right, so this gives you that top portion. So then the next part that we have is you've got this middle area right here, and then you've got the silver trigger. That's kind of my favorite part of this one. So again, you're just going to take, you could do it either way. So you could take this black duct tape if you have that, or if you didn't want to buy another set, you could just use the electrical tape and do the same thing. But based on size, we're going to go ahead and use the black. Now, since my handle's maybe a little bit longer than what you see on the Darth Vader one, I may wrap this a little bit longer just to fill up some of that gray space. Alright. And you just pull out the crease if you have one, but again, I don't know. I don't think she'll mind. If she does, I'll just do a new one. Alright, so I'm going to need another layer on this one, I think, just to get a little, like I said, a little more length. And you can always just, once you get the lengths down, you can just tear a little extra as well. There you go. And we'll wrap that around. So I did actually, I kind of lied. I said I got everything at Dollar Tree. This black duct tape, I did not get at Dollar Tree. Not that they don't, I think they have black duct tape, but I just happen to have it. So, all right. So this is my favorite part, is making the switch on these. So this one I'm going to do a rectangle switch, but if you ever do a circle switch, what I usually do is I'll put a coin down and I'll tape over the coin and then cut around the coin, and I just peel it right off the coin. But you're going to want some sort of like flat laminate surface that you can put your tape on and then just cut your tape off of without having without ruining the tape, because you're going to obviously want to peel the tape off and reuse it. So basically I'm just going to cut a chunk off of this tape to determine, or to make where my switch is. So what I'm trying to do here, and again, not trying to get too fancy, we got to make sure it lines up with the that little curve up there. And then I'm basically trying to follow this, like where it's silver here, and then I'm going to put a red piece over the top to make that switch. And this red tape, again, it's cheap, so it tends to, when you tear it, it peels and there's like a little white backing. So I usually cut, and so all you're going to do is you're just going to cut that same rectangle you just did, but you're just going to make it slightly smaller and maybe cut a little bit of the top off as well. So usually just cut through there and there, and I'll just cut right off the top of it. And then if I cut enough off, I should be able to place that right in the middle. And that'll kind of give me the look of a switch on there. So flip it over to there, and you just place it on there, and there's your switch for activating the lightsaber. All right, so then the finishing touch on this one is Darth Vader's lightsaber's got a little bit of black sections that go all the way around. So electrical tape works great for that. Some other detailed handles that I do, you may cut this in half and have like longer, narrower strips, but electrical tape at full size is pretty much what you're going to be looking for here. So there we go. And the way I do it, just to make sure I get the length equal, is what I'll do is I'll cut all of these, just tape out as many strips as I think I need. I think I need about 5 or 6 to get all the way around the handle. And again, you can kind of fudge it with the spacing. It's not a big deal. Again, unless your kids are far more picky than mine, but I think overall they're pretty content once they see a finished product on their pool noodle. It's a pretty big transformation for a 4 to 6 year old. So even my 8-year-old, almost 9-year-old loves them. So all right, so I got my strips here. Basically what I do is I'll just take a cut all the way down, and I'll go all the way down here. That way I can just make sure I have roughly equal lengths. And realizing as I did that cut, these are going to be way too long, so I'll just shorten them down a little bit. We'll say right about here should be good. And then basically just follow the base of the handle. Put one strip down at a time. I leave about a tape width between them. And again, I didn't measure. You could measure it if you really wanted to be particular, if you're more of a perfectionist than I am. But some of them will be uneven, and so be it. I don't know. Like I said, I've got 4 kids. I don't have time to be super precise with it. As long as they're happy, I'm happy, and they're so far been pretty happy with them. So that one turned out way longer than I needed, though. So I'm going to go ahead and trim a few inches off of each of those. Of course, I lost my glove. Alrighty, and we'll go ahead and just take a little bit. Need that one. There we go. That should give me plenty to work with for I think I need about 2 strips left. Nice thing here too is actually if you go a little too short, you can actually just stretch electrical tape a little bit. So that kind of is a little trick of the trade that I'm not really following right now, but you can kind of increase your dimensions that way. So again, not perfect, but took just a few minutes and transform this into Darth Vader lightsaber, switch and all. So like I said, just a couple other designs. This one is my middle daughter's. This one is my boy's, and then this one is my wife's, and this one is my other daughter's, and then I also have another Darth Vader lightsaber that is my youngest daughter's. So hope you enjoy. Have some fun this summer. Like I said, super cheap, super fun, and not gonna break on you. So have a great day. God bless.